God on your tongue. And you just gotta speak it into existence and work.
You gotta be cool not ever being recognized. You gotta be comfortable with that and not feel a way about it as long as we get into the check.
I think you just gotta know what you stand for and know what you represent, know what's true to you. Because you can't please everybody, you can't be everything to everybody, but you could be true and you could be yourself and comfortable in your skin and just represent what's real to you.
I'm very much in a space right now where I'm not doing anything that's going to compromise my peace and happiness. So I think just taking control, making sure you like maintain your power, don't give your power away to anybody. That I feel like is the key to like truly being happy.
Hey, bro, you better get ready to buckle up because this shit don't get no easier, bro. Once you think the grind gets easier, come on, bro, you silly, man. This grind's only for the strong ones, bro. And if you weak, I suggest you go ahead and leave. It's tough, but it's true. Be safe.
Until you figure it out, find you a hustle, make your money, and like you gotta have something figured out. Like you gotta have.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Creative. Go ahead, say it with me. We are back at it again to do what? To create something great. Now, today we're picking up on part 2 of our vibe coding session. This is going to be session 2. And this is going to be for the pullback strategy that we've been developing. If you want more on to be able to see like where we started, and don't worry, we're definitely going to break down on where we started, where we are with this particular SPY algo strategy. Excuse me. So what we're going to be doing is picking up on part 2, and this is going to be further optimization for this algo strategy. We were able to catch a major breakthrough, so we're going to be talking about that as well, further optimizing the strategy. And then if we get it to a point where it's passable and everything works, we're going to be building out our algo bot using Alpaca. So super excited what I have planned for y'all today. If you're not already, I need you to like and subscribe. Here at Creative Coder, our aim is to be able to create different algo trading bots. We are going to start picking up with machine learning, right? Being able to show y'all how we create AI agents. But lately, really been stuck on algo trading. It's been fantastic, and I really want us to be able to grow as a community, right? I've only been doing this since about April of this year, algo trading since about July, and been streaming for about the past 6 weeks now. So I'm still very new in this, right? So I still consider myself new. So I may make a few mistakes, but that's okay, right? Once I do make, I'm just going to recognize it and move forward. So let's go ahead and jump in. What I want to do, I'm going to be using ChatGPT, Claude Code, and Cursor. Cursor is the code editor that I'm going to be using. Not that one, but this one. Here we go. Cursor is going to be the code editor that I'm going to be using, and then within Cursor, we're going to be using Claude Code. And then the model for Claude Code is going to be Opus. So all this is going to make sense once we start drilling down on the work. All right, beautiful. So let's go into our strategy. So again, this is a pullback strategy, right? So before we get here, I want us to be, I'm sorry, my fault. There's one step I forgot to do. Let's just go ahead. Let's jump into ChatGPT real quick, because I want us to understand what is a pullback strategy. And I appreciate you, GD, for giving us this recommendation, so we can actually build out this strategy. So really do appreciate you for that. So what I wanted to start with is saying, all right, what is a pullback option strategy? How does it work? And explain the difference in a bear or bull market. And explain like I'm 12, but not in a condescending or demeaning fashion. Beautiful. And again, I want to use ChatGPT in order. Hold on. I had like the world longest sneeze. I was trying to sneeze, it wasn't coming, but nonetheless, it worked. All right. So what is a pullback strategy? So think of the stock market like a roller coaster, right? That mostly goes in one direction, up or down, but wiggles along the way. A pullback is one of those small wiggles against the main direction, right? So if the trend is going up, a pullback is a small dip down. If the trend is going down, a pullback is a small trend bouncing up, right? So let's further break this down. So if a trend is going up, if a trend is going up, we know that is a bullish market, right? And if it's a bullish market, who's in control? The bulls are in control. I always get that mixed up. I'm going to do better. My fault. The bulls are in control, right? So right now I'm looking at SPY, and SPY is the S&P 500. This is the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange, and I'm looking at the 1-minute chart on TradingView. So every green candle represents a bull candle, represents the buyers are in control, right? And right now we're seeing that the buyers are not only in control, but they're pushing new resistance levels, right? And remember, we always talk about support and resistance. So let's just break this down real quick. So when I say they're testing new resistance levels, what I mean by that is that they're getting higher highs, right? So whenever you hear somebody saying, oh, okay, this asset is pushing new resistance levels, they're getting higher highs. If anybody is they're testing new support levels, they're getting lower lows. So you ever heard the adage, you buy low, you sell high, right? This is where one of those adages came from, right? So we want to buy on support and then you want to sell on resistance, right? So, oh, look at that. We just had the flip. So the bears just came back in and said, okay, hold my beer. Let me show you who's really in control, right? So the red candle represents the bears or the sellers, and their main job is to be able to drive the price down, right? So you see these wicks that are pointing out oh, wow, they're really trying to solidify their position, saying no, and they're testing new support levels right now, right? Or they want to test lower lows. So this is going to be interesting to see how it's going to work out. But you seeing those wicks that are popping out the candle? Those wicks are letting me know that it's being rejected, right? So even though the bears wanted, oh, look at that, the bulls just step right back in. Even though the bears want to test lower lows, oh, that's crazy. It's being rejected whenever we see these long wicks pop out the candle, right? Pause. Excuse me. So right now the bears are trying to push lower lows, but a doji is coming in, and a doji lets me know there's indecision, meaning neither the bears or the bulls are really in control of the market, right? They're in a back and forth tussle, right? And nobody's really in control for that particular minute. So again, each one of these candles represents a minute of action between the buyers and the sellers, or the bears and the bulls, whichever way you want to look at it, right? But they're both going to talk about the same thing, right? So it's a story throughout the trading day, and right now the market is still open for another 45 minutes or so, right? So great that we're able to see this. So what we're doing is we're building a pullback strategy, and what this pullback strategy is saying is that, all right, we're trending up. If we're trending up, then I think that this is a bullish market, right? And there may be a slight pullback. We just saw it here, right? Trending up, pullback, and what's happening right now, right? So we're seeing the strategy play out, but what we're going to need maybe is a little bit more confirmation. Right here is just a one candle confirmation, right? That, okay, the bears were in control. Okay, look what happened live. So interesting. Let's see what happens, right? That the bulls were in control, and then bears came back. So this is our pullback. Then the bulls are trying to push it right back up, but the bears came back in, and it's still a little bit of a pullback is happening here, right? So what we're trying to do is catch that small dip and then ride it right back up, right? That's if it's trending up. If it's trending down, we want to do the same thing, but the opposite, right? So it's trending down. There's going to be a small bounce up. Maybe that's what's happening here, right? It was trending down, a little small bounce up, and then, yeah, we're catching a trend down. I'm sorry, I didn't see the full picture. I apologize. Let me zoom out so we can see the full picture, right? So we're seeing that it was trending down, a little small bounce up, and then we probably could have got here, but even if we would have, okay, yep, definitely trending down. All right, so we're seeing the action live in strategy here with regards to a pullback strategy, right? So what we want to do is wait for the little wiggle, and then we trade options in the main direction, right? So if it's going up, we're going to be trading calls, right? Calls is because we're bullish on the market, and if it's trending down, we're going to be trading puts, and puts is because we're bearish on the market, right? So it's like waiting for the basketball to bounce towards you before catching and shooting. You're not guessing. We're reacting to something that is predictable. So how it works, we just showed you an example, but let's break it down a little bit further. So we're going to check the market. If the market is going up, we have a bull trend. If the market is going down, we have a bear trend. Indicators that most traders are going to use is going to be the exponential moving average, or the EMA, and normal periods that they're going to use. And periods are just the number of bars or the number of minutes, right? So we like to use anything that would work for 0 DTE strategies. 0 DTE strategies are option strategies that expire the same day, right? So you have to be quick with your movement. So normally I don't like to go over 12 periods or 12 minutes, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what we're doing is using these last 12 periods, right, in order to figure out, all right, are we in a pullback? So there's multiple strategies that we've built here, right? But normally when we're building a strategy, I don't like to go past 12 periods, because that's enough to be able to tell us what direction we're heading in, number one. And number two, that's enough to be able to give us confirmation of volume, confirmation of momentum, confirmation of trend. So there's a lot that we can get within 12 minutes of data, especially within 1 minute, that we don't need to go past, 13. You can go to 13, but hey, that's semantics at that point. Sometimes, right, there's a little delta, little edge there, right? So you can squeeze a little bit more alpha out of that. But hey, it's all depending on the strategy. 20 to 50, I'm not waiting 20 minutes. I'm not waiting 50 minutes in order to get a average, right? So you want to be careful when we're talking about 0 DTE. This is way too long. Like 12, for me, I think that's safe, right? In order for us to be able to figure out what's going on. Higher highs and higher lows, an upward trend. Lower highs and lower lows, we have a downward trend. So we're waiting for the pullback. We're waiting for the discount moment, right? So you buy the dip. So this is a moment where we're buying the dip, right? So that discount moment is you're buying the dip, and you're allowing us to be able to get in while we're catching an upward trend or a downward trend. So we talked about that. A bull market and a bear market, I really feel like we already talked about that. Up, down. Yep. All right. So let's go back to our strategy, so we understand that bit. So what we've developed is a strategy, and we're going to call this another one, right? So if you were following us yesterday, part one had this particular strategy, and I'm still going to get this to work. I'm not going to hold y'all, but it's still, I need to go in the lab with this one a little bit more to figure out why isn't it working, right? Because these EMA periods that we're using, I feel like isn't triggering fast enough for this particular pullback strategy to work. So again, you'll understand that once we go through the steps on how we got to another one. And that name is kind of ironic, right? Because this was really another one, right? So this document captures the development of another one, a structured based pullback strategy for 0 DTE SPY options, right? So we know what 0 DTE is. These are, excuse me, I didn't drink ginger ale like yesterday. I don't know what it is. I feel like whenever I start streaming, I feel like I got a cough all of a sudden now. My fault. All right, so 0 DTE, these are going to be option contracts that expire the same day. SPY is the S&P 500. These are the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. And options, we're trading calls and puts. Got it? And if you do have any questions, please let me know. And again, part one is in the description, and I did pin it in the comments. So let's keep going. This strategy is evolved from the EMA-based strategy. Got to have the jelly, right? Because pullback, I thought, okay, peanut butter, and this is the jelly, right? You get it? All right, a little bit. I don't know if you got it, but whatever. So the strategy after the back test showed that the EMA signals were too slow for the 0 DTE time frames. The time frames that we're using is 1 minute time frames, right? Because that allows us to be able to catch a trend while it's happening, allows us to be able to confirm it, right? I mean, you can use tick by tick. I'm not going to hold you. You just better know what you're doing. And tick by tick or sub minute data, right? 15 seconds, 30 seconds. We can do that, but there's a lot more that we have to be able to filter out when it comes to that. And I just found a lot more success being able to do it at 1 minute. So I just stuck with 1 minute. All right. And this is pivoted from got to have the jelly. So the main concept of the strategy. So we trade pullbacks doing a market structure with swing high, low, and a break of structure instead of the lagging EMA indicators. And EMA is the exponential moving average. So how we got here. So the original got to have the jelly strategy used EMA 2 and 6 pullbacks, right? The account bled from $100, and all of our strategies that we're going to be developing is going to start with $100. But before I even go any further, this is not financial advice. If you do seek financial advice, please make sure that you talk to a certified financial planner. A financial advisor are those that are licensed in order to assist you with your financial questions. This is merely educational / entertainment. Let's keep going. So all of our strategies, unless told otherwise, is going to start with $100, right? Because we want to be able to dispel the notion that you need thousands upon dollars in order to trade options. No, right? And especially with regards to algo options and automated your trading, we're going to start with $100, and you're going to see what's going to happen here, right? But again, let's just go through the steps on how we got to develop particular back test right here, and we're going to go through it. Don't worry, but I want to go through the steps first so we can really get granular and understand what's going on. All right. So they got to have the jelly strategy. It started at $100, but it bled to $17 approximately early April. So it really didn't survive. Why? There was too many time stops. So what is a time stop? Or let's go back, right? And just understand what is an algorithm. So an algorithm, right? We talked about this yesterday, but let's just go over this one more time, just so we can make sure everybody's on the same page. And that's the strategy, right? We started it yesterday, and we're going to just pick it up where we left off. But what I want, I feel like this is crooked. Okay, there we go. I still feel like this is crooked. Where are you? I feel like I'm tripping. All right, did I not bring it here? All right, give me 1 second. Let me bring in what is an algorithm, because I felt like I already had it here. Why are you not here? My fault, y'all. Give me 2 shakes of a second. You know what I didn't do? I don't think I copied it over. My fault. I apologize. I really do appreciate your patience. Why isn't it here? All right, what I'm going to do instead is we're just going to go back to the thread I used yesterday in order to figure out what an algo is. All right, beautiful. So what's an algorithm, right? So an algorithm, or an algorithmic option strategy, is a set of rules that a robot follows in order to trade options automatically, right? So instead of a human sitting at a computer thinking, hey, should I buy a call? Should I sell a put? What does the chart say, right? The algorithm, or the algo, does the thinking for us, right? So it looks at the numbers and we give it a pattern, and the pattern that we're giving it right now is a pullback strategy, right? And then the signals in the market, and then it follows our rules explicitly every single time without emotion, right? So what is an algo, right? So a little bit breaking, I like this better. So an algorithmic option strategy is an automated decision-making system for buying and selling options based on the rules or instructions that we design, right? It is turning our trading plan into clear instructions that the computer can follow 24/7, right? So what we're designing here is an algo that allows the computer to follow our instructions explicitly, right? When we first started with Got to Have the Jelly, right? I mean, there was a lot of cool things about it, right? Because we had an EMA crossover, right? When we normally, I have a lot of success with this EMA crossover 2 and 12, right? That 10 gap allows us to be able to catch a lot of stabilization when it comes to momentum, and the 2 allows us to be able to see the recent price movement, right? So I used to have a lot of success with that. So that's why I started with 2 and 12, but we went 3, 8, 5, 6, 2, 6, so on and so forth, right? It just didn't work out. Another thing that was the issue, and GD, I really do appreciate you, because what we added here, I mean, it kind of saved it, but it really didn't, but I'm still working on it, is ATR, right? ATR is average true range. It allows us to be able to gauge if there's true momentum with the strategy, right? And the reason I was I was waiting to be able to bring in ATR. I just didn't know at what point. But the way that we're able to save this, let's just go into it, right? And then I'll go back to the steps. So this strategy uses a market structure, swing high and lows, to find the entries. Instead of an EMA, we identify the market break structure, and then we wait for the pullback to validate our levels, right? So let's keep going. So think of it like a staircase. The market makes swing highs, H1, and swing lows, L1, L, right? When the price breaks above the swing high, this equals a bullish break of structure. So we think the market is going to go up, right? When the price breaks below the swing low, this creates a bearish break of structure. So we think the market is going to go down. So after the BOS, or the break of structure, we wait for the price to pull back to a key level. And then we enter once the price touches that level. So why this works, the structure breaks, the structure break shows who's in control, the buyers or the sellers, or the bears or the bulls, right? Who are the buyers? Those are the bulls. Who are the sellers? Those are the bears. Beautiful. All right, the pullback gives us a better entry point, right? And then the validated levels are where big players place orders before. So we're trading with momentum, not against it. So the entry logic, for the bullish, or calls, so the bullish break of structure, or BOS, occurred, and then the price pulled back. And then I have to pull this back. How funny, right? To validate, and then we enter. For a put, we have a bearish break of structure occurred, and then the price pulls back to validate it at high, and then we enter, right? And then these are the libraries that we normally use, right? Pandas is going to be your Excel for Python. So that's basically how to explain it. Pandas is an Excel for Python. And then NumPy is going to be your calculator for Python. This is Python. Our backtest is written in Python. I forgot to mention that. I apologize. And this is how we plot and then have our end of metrics once we actually run the backtest. So let's go back to our steps. So we talked about the strategy concept already, right? So I can keep going. We already talked about that. And then we built the backtest for step 2. And then we already talked about the entry logic. So for step 2, that's in the entry logic. We already talked about this, right? And then the entry optimization. So the 50% retraction. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So the original logic, we waited for the price to pull back 100% to validate the level, right? This often meant that we're missing trades. The price never reached that level. And then later trades was already exhausted, right? Means that there was no momentum left in it, meaning that there was no more steam, right? In order for us to be able to hit our TP or take profit levels, right? So research on the retracement level. At the BOS, or break of structure, we entered immediately, the earliest but worst price. With the 50% retraction, we waited to the midpoint of the pullback. And this was a balanced approach, right? And allows us to be able to get a lot more. So let's talk about it real quick, right? So why the 50% retracted was based on the Al Brooks trading price action. 50% is the trader's retraction when institutions reload. Jim Dalton, the market and profile, right? Value area center around 50% of the moves. And then Thomas Bolskowski, excuse me if I pronounce that, I think Bolskowski. All right. The Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns, 40 to 60% pullbacks have the highest continuation rates, right? So whenever I changing anything in a strategy, right? You want to be able to quote why. So this is my citing source. The implementation, so the call, so for calls with the bullish break of structure, so we have a BOS price, right? The break happens here at 475 with the 50% retraction. We're entering at 474.50 instead of 474, right? This is the 100% pullback. So instead of waiting for it to get to 100% pullback, we're entering at 50%. Now, we're still going to optimize it. I just stopped at 50%, but who's to say that 40% won't work? Who's to say that 20% won't work, right? So we still have more levels to be able to optimize to see how much more better we can get this strategy to be. And then step 4, we added a rejection candle confirmation. Excuse me. Holy cow, my fault. So step 4, we added a rejection candle confirmation. So the problem that we identified after we added the 50% retraction is that it still struggled a bit, right? So entering purely at the touch and then no confirmation, we didn't know if the bounce would actually happen. And then that's when we added the rejection candle confirmation, right? So the solution was on the call entry, the price touches the 50% retraction level, right? And then the candle closes above the level, and that's the rejection confirmation. And then we enter the call, right? So for puts, it's the inverse, right? So the price touches the 50% retraction level. The candle closes below instead of above. The rejection is confirmed, and then we're going to enter a put. A visual example, the pullback. So the price closed here. It pulled back here. It touched, right? And then this is confirmed. We have a touch, and then it closed above for a call in order to get a valid entry. So does that make sense? And if you do have any questions or if I'm going too fast, please let me know. Again, I'm really trying to break this down so it could be like really super simple, really granular, how we got here and how we're developing this algo. My fault. Didn't want to cough in your ear. All right, let's keep going. So step 5 was the option selection optimization. So why? So delta equals how much the option moves when SPY moves $1, right? So delta of 10 means that when SPY moves $1, delta moves $10, right? Because again, for every option contract, there's 100 shares. So you have to take 100 times 10, right? So what do you get? $10. Beautiful. Let's keep going. For $1, we have 30. A delta of 30, we have $30, and a delta of 50, we have $50, right? Now let's further break that down. Delta also tells us probability of profit, right? So when I say, oh, look, there's a POP or probability of profit of 10%. Again, same thing here. We're going to take the 0.10, multiply it by 100, right? To get your 10%, 30%, 50%, right? So our new parameters, right? So the old way was 0.10 to 0.25, right? Or excuse me, 0.10 to 0.58, right? And these are just obligatory numbers, arbitrary numbers that I just started with, right? I don't know why I started there, but I just started there. And then our back-tested data-driven numbers, we are now having a minimum of 0.25 to avoid the non-responsive options, right? Because whenever you have an option with a delta that's less than 0.2, it's going to need a lot of movement in order for it to get to the money, right? ATM, right? Because what we're doing, anything with a delta like 0.2, right? Really 0.3. Okay, we can say 0.2. Anything with a delta of 0.2, less than 0.2, that's OTM. That's out the money delta, right? So it's going to take a lot of movement in order for it to get to ATM, right? And the reason we like ATM, who doesn't like to go to the ATM, right? In order to print money, right? But in order for us to get to the ATM, we have to get our OTM ATM. Or what does that mean? We have to get it from the current, from the strike price that we think is going to go to, and make sure that current price gets there, right? All right, so, and our new max is going to be 0.40, and then our premium, how much we're going to be paying, instead of starting at $15, we're starting at $20, and then instead of going to $70, we're capping it at $55. This was just a bug fix that I had to do. And then signal quality. Another thing that we noticed was that the break of signal, it was just giving us a moment in time capture break of signal. What do I mean by that? So break of signal would normally happen. This strategy only trades between, let's go double check. This strategy trades between 9:32 a.m. and 10:58 a.m., right? So when the strategy first kicks off, when the strategy first starts off, that's when it'll establish its break of signal levels, right? Okay, what's the higher high? What's the lower lows, right? And then, but it wouldn't refresh it. So that's why we had to add the BOS refreshness, right? So the sell, excuse me, the momentum exhausted by the time we entered, because we wouldn't check again. Okay, is it still, are we still in those same levels that we initially started when we began the strategy or the algo or the back test, right? So the solution was to only enter if the BOS occurred within the last n bars, and the bars that we're starting with right now, and the bars are just minutes, right? So only occur if it we go in within the last X minutes, right, or n minutes, and the minutes that we're using right now is 10 minutes. Again, this is just what we started with. We're going to do further optimization right now. And what is optimizing? Optimizing is just adjusting parameters, right? Okay, we're starting at 10. Let me try 8. Let me try 5. Let me try 4. Maybe we're going to get improvement there, right? And I know that there's other tools that we can use like bt.optimize, Optuna, right, in order to have the code optimize or Python optimize it for us. But I would rather for us to be able to go through it so we can understand, okay, oh, if I adjust it from 8 minutes to 9 minutes, what is the impact, right? Is it a positive or negative impact, right? Like, what is that delta for that change, right? So that's why I would rather for us to go through the optimization so we can understand why it works. Now, this is the other part. ATR, average true range. So what does ATR allows us to be able to do? Momentum. Is there steam left in this particular signal, right? So the problem is that we were entering in choppy / range abounding markets. Choppy meaning it's going up and down, up and down. It doesn't know which way it wants to go. And range abound meaning okay, side to side, right? So where the price just wiggles. So the solution, we only enter when the ATR exceeds the minimum threshold. How ATR is measured. What is ATR? ATR measures how much the price moves per candle, not just the direction. So high ATR equals big candle equals price moving a lot equals good for trading. A low ATR equals a tiny candle, price is barely moving, choppy, avoid, bad for trading, right? So our parameters that we're using is we're using ATR and we're starting with a period of 5, meaning, all right, we're checking every 5 minutes. What's happening right now? Do we have a high ATR or low ATR, right? And our minimum threshold is 0.12, right? And again, these are just levels that we started at, but we're going to be doing further optimization. Now, I'm going to save step 8 because that's going to talk about, okay, what happened? No, excuse me, let's just go through it, right? Again, remember at step 4, this was step 4. Yep, step 3, step 3, we had a 30% retraction, right? Now, step 8, we're at a 30. Step 4, we had a 50% retraction. I mixed my words. But step 8, we have a 50% retraction, right? So what the change? Entering earlier catches momentum while it's still fresh. So the POS or the break of signal max age is 10. We went from 10 to 8. Forces entries to closer to the structure. The delta, we went from a minimum of 0.25 to 0.20. More contracts, better fills. And then the stop loss, we got it a lot tighter, right? So the stop loss currently was 12%. So what does that mean? The strategy starts at $100, right? So if it goes down to $88, yeah, right? Get me out of that position. But right now we're saying that no, if it goes down to $90, get me out of that position, right? So better risk management, right? We're cutting losers faster and we're preserving our capital. So I'm going to hold on to the back test results. Now we're going to actually run our back test live so we can see, and these are the parameters, right? Our minimum swing, the retraction, right? And before, and let's go through our back test journal. So the difference between what I just reviewed, this is the steps that we've taken in order to build out this strategy, right? So I'm very meticulous about what I did, why I did it, and why it worked, so on and so forth, right? And this is the journal. The journal is going to catalog all the versions, right? So version 1, with the EMA pullback, got to have the jelly, right? The EMA 2.6 crossover for a trend, and then we entered on the pullback to EMA 6, and then the rejection candle confirmation, right? So the strategy went from $100 to $17. That's an algo nobody wants. So we said, all right, lesson learned is that EMA-based entries don't work well for. I don't agree with that. It's just depending on the period, right? So I don't really, hold on. It is depending on the period in order for it to work. Just make sure, because that's not it's a biased statement. Claude code. All right, yeah. All right, then we went to another one, right? We replaced the EMA with the market structure, right? The BOS, the breakup structure, right? Swing high, then swing low, the breakup structure for bias, and then 100% pullback for confirmation. We went from $100. The strategy was struggling, waiting for the full pullback. We were entering, it meant that we were missing the moves, right? Lesson learned is that 100% retraction is too deep. Momentum was exhausted by the time we got into the signal. And then we went to 50%. So 50%, we saw 51 trades. The win rate went to 39%, but our P&L is negative 71, right? So better, but we're still entering way too late. Most trades are hitting time stops, right? What is the time stop? Each strategy has its own particular time stop or max hold time. So this strategy, we're saying that you only have 5 minutes for us to be able to hit a profit of 24%, 18%, or 13%. Now I think, hey, some would say, hey, won't you hit 13% TP3 all the time? Well, I don't know, right? That's not always going to be the case, right? Because we can hit 18, we can hit 24. Shit, we can even hit 90, right? I've seen a strategy that I was working on earlier today, and again, that was like astronomical numbers, and I'm not even going to say what it was because it was like, bro, I still don't believe it. Yeah, it was just stupid. But I seen a strategy where I was asking for 24%, right? But I got 200%, right? So these are just the minimum returns that I will allow in order for this strategy, in order for it to not necessarily break even or make money, to be profitable, right? So these are just the minimum returns that we started at right now, right? Our stop loss, we already talked about that. And it has 5 minutes in order for us to take profit at any one of these levels, or within the 5 minutes, if we SL or stop loss, get me out of the position, right? Again, if I'm starting at 100, if I go to 90, get me out. Don't wish and pray and hope in order for the position to turn around. It's already down 10%, right? In order for us to make 24%, that means we have to gain 34%, right? That's crazy. So instead of wishing, hoping, and praying, just get us out of position if we're down 10%, right? So what I want us to do, we're going to run the back test live, and then we're going to see what is the results. This is version 3 at this point. Again, if you want to go watch part 1, it really breaks down how we got to this point of the strategy, and I went over the steps, went over the backtest journal, so you should really have a good understanding of where we are right now. So I'm just going to speed up a little bit, right? But again, if you do have questions, please let me know. I am here to be able to help. This is a growing community, right? So I want to be able to make sure that everybody understands what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and why it works for this particular strategy, because every strategy has its own different edge, quote unquote, its own different alpha that we're trying to tap into. All right, let's keep going. All right, Python, running it. Oh, what I also need to do, let me just go ahead and get Claude Code open, because what's vibe coding without your AI, right? We're going to be using Opus, or I keep saying Opus, Opius. I'm going to come to a consensus one day. Maybe we'll agree. Like, do you call it Opus or Opius? I call it I don't know, depending on the day. Opus 4.5, right? So we're just going to get that up, and we're running our back test. Oh, my fault. The back test is running right now. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much. So it's at $92. So let's see how it performs. 105. And again, if I see something that I think it's meant for us to be able to look at, then we're going to look at it, right? So what are you seeing from this back test? And what is a back test? A back test is being able to take your strategy, drop it off in a time machine, and you want to see how well it does on historic data. What we're testing right now, we're testing the strategy in 2024's environment for SPY, right? 24 ideally was a bullish year. So what does that mean? Like, really, I mean, there are some pockets of bearish movements. I'm not going to hold you. The whole 2024 was really that bearish, but it was more trending up, right? Not like 2023 was like choppy as fuck, because there was a lot going on. You had multiple bank failures, whether it was Silicon Valley Bank and other banks that were failing back in 2023 and 2022. That is your prototypical bearish year, right? A downward trending market. But there were still some bullish areas, maybe like Q2, Q4, right, in 22. But nonetheless, we're testing it on 2024. Ideally, this is a bullish year, right? So right now the strategy got out of January and it was at 150, 180. Right now it's in February and we're at $256. And we're going to see how the strategy does. 287. So as you can see, all of our strategies start at $100, and I want to be able to see we're simulating trading, right? So this is what algo trading would be. All right, we started with $100, load you up, and then let's see how you perform, right? So right now we're testing it. So I like to call back testing like the strategies in school right now, right? We're training it, we're validating it, right? We want to see how well it performs, and then once we see how well it performs in 24, 23, maybe even 22, maybe I'll try COVID, right? That's 2020, maybe the recovery year 2021, which is an interesting year. Then we'll let it pass. Now I have certain strict requirements, right? Hold on. Strategy is at, let's see what out of February. Now we got in at 170, right? Now February we're getting out at 241, right? So we're giving back too much money right now. So that's one thing that I'm noticing with this strategy, right? I mean, it's oscillating or going back and forth between 300, then it'll dip to like the low 200s, right? So we want it to be able to keep pushing resistance levels. Don't worry about support, right? If we're going to go back to what we learned earlier, right? I want our strategy to keep pushing resistance levels. Right now it's like testing support. Get out of support, bruh. Just test the resistance, man. Like break the resistance. It's funny. Right now, see, it's giving back too much money. Right. That's one thing that I'm noticing. What are you noticing? Right. When we're looking at this strategy that we're building out. Yeah, it's giving back a little bit too much money for me. So that's why we're going to be optimizing, right? Because there's a couple things that we can improve upon the strategy. Maybe 5 minutes is way too long, right? Maybe we're supposed to be saying, all right, maybe I'm not supposed to cut that down to 4 minutes, right? Or 3 minutes, right? Maybe I don't know. Let's just keep watching. Let's keep watching. 187. See, you're giving back way too much money. I don't know. Maybe these first couple of months were just that tough, right? And this is Q2. We're in April, right? Yep. So the highest I seen was what, 330? So it's not like it's dipping back under like 150, right? But this is just a high. That I bet the drawdown or the max drawdown is going to be north of 40%. I think it's going to be like 60. Yeah, because we make and then we lose. We make. Well, let's see. We're coming out of April, and let's see. Oh shit! I just should have kept track of March. March just went through. I was talking too much. My fault. All right, April. We're coming out of April, and we're at 288.90. We're going into May. We're going into May at 288.90. So 351. All right, come on. So it looks like okay, 385. We just touched a new high. 427. Maybe May is going to be great to us. 472. It looks like May's fantastic. 529.26. That's the 8th day. Okay, we're just winning in May right now. May is a fantastic month. May is a fantastic month right now. Hey, we haven't lost yet in May. I don't want to jinx it. Let me shut up. May is fantastic. Oh, shit. See? Got too big. Got too excited. 2 straight losses. We're at 665, 64. All right. So, okay, come on. Let's see. We came into May, what, 288.90, right? Let's see where we get out of May. 288.90 we got right into May, right? Yep, 288.90. We're getting out of May. Or can we get out of May at 1,000? We're getting out of May 934.66, y'all. We got into May 288.90. We're getting out of May 934.66. That's what's up. $700 increase in 1 month. May's not a bad month, man. And in June, we just eclipsed 1,000. So in 6 months, it took the strategy. And again, that March, April was a little tough, right? But in 6 months, it took the strategy to go from 100 to 1,000, right? So let's see if we could eclipse maybe from 1,000 to 2,500. And again, the strategy starting at $100, right? And we're back testing it. This is on historic data. This is like, okay, if I were to trade this on 2024, right, with the strategy rules and the requirements that we have, this is how much money it would have made, right? It's giving back too much money for my taste. So what I'm noticing is that the max hold time is probably a little bit too long, right? That's a little too generous, the 5 minutes. I think we can allow that to be a little bit more aggressive, right? Because from what I'm seeing, maybe y'all are seeing something different, right? So that's why we're running the back test. You're seeing something different. I'll see something different. Let's compare, right? But what I'm seeing is that the wins are 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes and less. I'll see some 2 minute. Okay, here's a 4 minute. Here's an outlier, right? So it took 4 minutes to hit 17%. So here's 2 minutes, right? So what I'm seeing is wins are happening 3 minutes or less. So within that 3 minute window, we're noticing if this is going to be a loser or a winner. I mean, yeah, there's some outliers, right? But I think that there is more grace given to what you know. And I think what we know right now is that 3 minutes is that sweet spot. So we'll see. The strategy, oh shit, I was supposed to keep track. I keep forgetting. In June, it eclipsed 1,000, but it gave back the 1,000 in July. Let's see if it can go back and eclipse 1,000 again. I'm supposed to keep track. Okay. It's the 23rd. I think there's some hope. All right. Just eclipse 1,000 again. Bet. June. All right. Right now, 1,100. Okay. Keep touching support. Keep touching resistance. All right. So let's see what we get out of July. July, we're getting now 1,100. All right. So we're in August, 1,100. So let's see what you do. So it's the back half of the year, right? So we're noticing. So here's a couple things that I noticed. The strategy works, right? Second thing that I noticed is that within 3 minutes, we're either going to know if we're winning or losing, right? So I think there's some wiggle room there to be able to tighten up the maximum hold time right now of 5 minutes. Okay, it just went from the 8th or the 1st to the 13th. That's crazy. Or maybe wasn't I looking? I don't know. Okay. Oh, because maybe there were no signals. It didn't tell me there were no signals. See, it just went from the 1st to the 12th. So if there are no signals, just tell me there are no signals in between those 11 days. So that's the one thing I just need to check out. I was like, okay, I know I wasn't tripping. Okay, so that's the pattern. If there's no signals, we're going to jump from the 12th to the 26th. Maybe that was a weekend. Strategy's at 1,200 right now. So we got into August at 1,100. We're getting out of August at, okay, 1,200, right? We're in September right now. So let's see how the strategy closes out the year. Let's see what it does. Closing out Q3. Okay, 1,400. Keep testing resistance. Keep testing resistance. Come on, keep testing resistance. Get there. 1,489. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not going to hold y'all. It's working. We're seeing a lot of great things happen with the strat, right? I mean, it just gave back some money, but there's a couple things that we can do in order to improve this. What I'm seeing is that the max hold time, right, is one thing that I'm noticing. Maybe, I think that's the big thing. Maybe a few of the other parameters. Oh, what I want to do. Oh, yes, allow. But what I want to do while the back test is running, let me just get, let's get you acquainted with our strategy. Review and explain to us like we're 12, non-condescending or demeaning way, like a professor talking to their student. Beautiful. Let's get that underway. So by the time the back test results are ready to go, we can, okay, boom, here's the results, review them. Now tell me what's up. So what are y'all noticing, right? I mean, we're not, it seems like we can't really eclipse that past the 2000 mark, right? It's been at the 1000 level for quite some time, right? Yeah, I mean, it's buying multiple contracts, so it's not like we're not compounding with the multiple contracts, but we're just not seeing, there's a little bit more, there's a little bit better risk management that could be done, right? Okay. Big picture. All right. You're trying to make money trading SPY that expires the same day. This is like the ice cream cubes that melt fast. So you need to be quick and smart about when you get in. The journal is what we did. Okay, we talked about that. The retraction. Okay, so it has context. All right, beautiful. Seems like, okay. Now push past that. Push past your old support. Push past it. See? For me, I think the max drawdown needs to be better. Maybe we can try a retraction at 20, right? Instead of the retraction at 30, right? What I want to say now is based on the results from journal, and steps taken, what are the best parms and results mix? Beautiful. So let you go. All right, it's at 1422, 1459. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to hold you. This is starting at $100, right? So like in retrospect, no, we're not going to. I'm not going to justify this because this can do a lot better. This can do a lot better, especially with SPY. No, SPY is an amazing liquid asset. What does liquidity mean? Being able, when you want to buy, you can buy. When you want to get out the position, you can get out the position without worrying. Okay, just cross 1500. Can you get to 2000? Okay, finish the year strong. Get to 2000. Finish the year strong. Get to 2000. Finish the year strong. 16. Come on. Okay, got 13 days. Come on. Finish it strong. 1717. 1774. Isn't that's funny. Huh? What, that's serendipitous. Isn't that when America, I think 1774 or 1779? Okay, let me shut up. What I'm looking for, profit factor 1.49. I mean, that's kind of okay, but not really. So what profit factor is letting me know is that for every $1 that we're losing, I'm making $1.50 back, but not really $1.49, right? Win rate of 59%. It's just above a coin flip. So there's really no edge there. I mean, there is 233 trades, right? So there's opportunity, but it's just a matter of being able to see, okay, which ones are like we're winning, right? And why we're winning. Best trade was 126.58. Worst trade was 111. And our average hold time was 330. So that supports my idea that I want to lower the max hold time because, again, I think there's a little bit more flexibility there. So let's come here. What are you seeing? Okay, same thing we just went over. Same thing we just went over. All right, the jump, beautiful. But it just went from losing to winning, right? So that's a big win there, right? Because the strategy was losing $71. Now it's winning $1,500, right? The shallower entry, the 30%, is catching the momentum earlier. So maybe instead of the 30%, let's try it at 20%, right? The tighter BOS. So instead of 30, let's do 20. Instead of 8, let's do 5. I'm keeping the stop loss. That's Gucci. And instead of 20, let's go down to 15. Right? So there's a couple ways that we're going to adjust this. All right, so it already has the basis, so there's no need in order to give it the back test again, right? Because it just spat out the same thing that we're just reviewing. All right, so perfect. So what we're going to do is start with the optimization. So what we're going to say is that now we want to test new levels to see if we can improve backtest. Let's do retracement of 20% instead of 30. Let's do the tighter BOS freshness of 5 bars or candles minutes instead of 8. And let's do delta min of 0.15 and keep everything. Oh, shit. The main thing I wanted to do. And max hold time of, what do we say? I want to do 3.5 minutes. Then keep everything else the same. All right, beautiful. So we're starting. This is going to be step 9. Let's go to our steps taken. Steps taken. Step 9. Yep. All right, beautiful. So what I want to do is update with what we have done while we run the back test. All right, so let's run our back test again. So we just ran it. All right, let's keep these numbers in mind. Let me just get them down. Matter of fact. And then what we're going to do here we go. Now we're running our back test. Still running it on 2024. Still going to run it on 2024. And we're going to see if we're going to get better parameters. Oh, the market is just about to close. So while that's okay, it's loaded. Never mind. It's loaded. Reload it. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's see if we're able to get better parameters. Oh, you know what I was supposed to do that I haven't yet? Beautiful. Okay, here. Oh, I've already saved that, so I can remove you while you run. All right, bet. I want to make sure we stay organized. Jelly for you. I'm going to get back to you later, but let's stay organized, chap. So what we're doing is we're testing our new parameters. We're seeing if the new retraction, right, getting in earlier, if that's going to help. Being able to get a fresher bar, right, from 8 to 5, right, and then our delta from 20 to 15, and then dropping our hold time. So right now we're getting out of January, and oh damn, we just gave back $80. That's crazy. All right, we're getting out of January, and it is 214. Nope, 231. That Feb loss was just the first one. All right, so let's let this back test run and see how well we do. Okay. 311. Okay, let me shut up. Still giving back too much money. Maybe we need to adjust the TP levels, but I think they're already optimized by themselves, bro. Let's see. Let's see what the data is telling us. What was it? 241. We got out of January 241, and we're getting out of February. Let's see. Can you hold it? We're getting out of February. Shit, just gave back $50. Getting out of February, 287.87. Shout out to the 80s babies. I still believe that there is 294.91. So before, remember, March and March and February, or March and April, or just those months that really didn't show us any love, right? Not like May. That's like we'll win, we'll get up, then we'll get the money right back. Then we'll win, we'll get up, we'll get the money right. But come on, man, it's okay to make money. Come on, get there. Now keep pushing it. Like, I want us to resemble what's going on in the market right now, right? You see, testing new resistance. You see that? New resistance, right? Let's get our strategy to do that. Let's get our strategy to do that. Yo, I kind of want to make a strat, and I've been thinking about this for a while, right? That trades overnight, so it'll buy overnight and then sell. The market's about to close in a minute. You're not missing nothing. Let's see where the market closes. Is it going to touch 686? No, it's being rejected right now. Let's see where you close. Let's see where you close. Okay. Yep, just closed 685.63. Interesting. I told you wasn't missing nothing. The strategy is still giving back too much money in April. We are still giving back too much money in April. I mean, yeah, it'll compensate for it with these little minuscule wins, right? So one thing that I think I can appreciative of is that the strategy, we're not going under 150, right? I don't think I've seen that yet. But what I haven't seen is like our compounding growth, right? Like it being able to continue catch these. Like, okay, why can't we catch more plays like this? 520. All right, that's what's up. Now remember, May was great for us when we ran it before. Let's see if May continues to be great. Let's see if May continues to be great. Can we eclipse $1,000? Let's see if May continues to be great. And it seems like that's the case. Come on. All right. We just need to do something about. It's May 15th, and we're at 965. We came in. Damn, I keep forgetting. My fault, y'all. Keep forgetting where we came in, where we're leaving. I think it was 520, if I recall. Can we leave May and double our money? Would that have made up for it, right? If you came in May at 500, but you leave 1,000, would that make up for the year? Like you're doubling your money in 1 month? Can we double it? Can we double it? Double up! Double up! That's what's up. Now let's see what we can do. Can we turn this 1,000 to 2? Can we turn it to 2? $1,100. Now remember, July was kind of. That's what's up. 12. All right, come on, get down. So what I'm noticing, and let me know what you notice, right? The whole time of 3.5 minutes works. Maybe we can tighten it to 3 minutes, right? That's food for thought. The retraction at 20%, I think, works, right? Maybe there needs to be a little bit more wiggle to the option selection. I don't know. I think it's missing. We're missing one thing, and I don't know what that thing is yet until we get to the end of it. All right, so let's see what we get out of June. We came in at 1,000. We're leaving 1,200, 11.99.05, 95 cents under. All right, July. Come on, July. Strategy's rocking. I mean, it's moving. But I want us to be able to. No, it can't be the because we're buying damn near 7 contracts, right? It's costing us $200. So it's not the contract. I don't know. I don't know. There's something there, shunning. That's not working. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. 1,500. All right. We came in at 12. We're at 15. Bruh. We came in at 1,200, and let's see if we leave at 15. Come on. Give me one more win. Ooh. 1,500. All right. $300 in a month. I'll take it. Oh, remember last time we just went from the 8th, from the 1st to the 12th? Now we caught the 2nd. Okay, the 2nd to the 6th. Okay. 1,700. The past from like April, May was fantastic. June was all right, kind of decent. July was a little toss up, you know, but March and February need to figure out what's going on and how we can improve our signal quality, right? Because what we're seeing right now, I mean, the strategy is hitting and it's working, but I still feel like it's giving too much money back. Number one. Number two, we're not seeing these explosive moves that I would like to see. Number three, it's stuck at $1,000. You know, maybe I need to adjust a few things, and that's where, you know what? Before I keep adjusting, let's run it on 2023. Let's see how well. Okay, 17. Get to 2,000 already. Where do we come in? 1,500. So we left at 1,600. So 145, barely like $200. Damn. So I just gapped up, y'all. Post market. 1779.91 at 9/11. That's crazy. I think it's probably the delta. I'm not going to hold you. I think it's the delta. Delta is one of the ways that we use in order to select the option contract, right? And I think our delta right now is not as permissive as it can be. Because right now, where are we? 12. Oh, I didn't notice that. Filter out worthless contracts. I didn't notice we starting at 20 bucks and 55. Maybe this is what's hurting us right now. Right? Let's talk about this. Because this probably could be an issue. So let's see. Oh, we just crossed 2,000. Look at that. 06. That's crazy. 1963. Oh, we went to the moon in 69. 84. Shout out to the 80s babies. 70s. 1880. That's crazy. I don't know. For me, I still think the strategy is giving back too much money. I mean, yes, there's a bit of improvement. I'm not going to hold you, right? 2043. But I still think there's a lot more improvement that we're going to be doing. I'm excited for that. How do y'all feel about this so far? How do y'all like this development, right? Is there anything that you're noticing that we can change or we should update? So you've seen the strategy go from 100, what is that, 1,500? Now it's at 2,000, right? So you've seen there's a little bit of improvement we've done. But again, I still think there's a lot more what we can do in order to get this better. So I'm interested to see how the PARMs are going to be. That's crazy, 2026. Isn't that next year? Sometimes when it goes to 2,000, I can't help but like, oh, okay, that's a couple of few years ago. Or a few years away. 2034. Okay, now we're starting to see some of these moves, right? It's okay, but still giving back too much money. It's like it'll win big, but then it'll give it right back. What are y'all thinking? If we can go from, that's double, right? From 1,500, can we touch it 3,000? It's like it's afraid to touch 3,000. I didn't think the strategy was going to break across my flipping 1,000, right? Because it was just stuck on 1,000 from like 1,000, 1,200, 1,800, 1,600, right? Now we're seeing the same thing with this is kind of the longest that I've seen like any almost strategy, because normally we're in it for like maybe 2 or 3. But this one, we're still giving back too much money. Can we close at 3,000? I think I know what the problem is. It's the premium and the delta. Watch when we adjust the premium and the delta. Like, we're going to really take off, and the strategy is going to be able to do what it needs to. Just think about it like this: you can only buy things from $20 to $55, right? What about, okay, 3,000? So we just double up. Double up. Now hold it, man. Shit, just gave it right back. Did we end at 3,000? Nope. That's funny. What's the win rate? 61%. So 2% better, if that. Almost doubled our money. So it was 149. Now it's 176. We're still in the ones. 3 minutes. I mean, little baby basic, bruh. There you go. It's marginally getting better, but I think we can improve upon this. I give you this. I don't know which one is it. That's funny. Shit, what's the difference? Oh, I see. I see which one you are. Okay. Review, and let's discuss review using grep and knock terminal commands. Because 161111109 1611109, right? So that's how I was able to find. Oh, bet it's the same one. That's the same one. All right. 58% bullish bias in 2024. Didn't I tell y'all that? All 12 months were profitable. Shit, and me, like, barely. Best month, I told you, May and November. The 20% retracement fuzzy 5-bar is a massive improvement. Stop loss. Okay, we still have ways to go. Like, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. We still have ways to go, bruh. All right, this is what I'm going to do. So we're going to say, let's update the premium min and max to 0.15 and 0.40. Okay. Then what else? Have you ever attempted to trade a strategy that trades the same options all day, provided that the option price remains within the specific range? Just throwing that out there. Thoughts? We mean like the same strike price? Like to trade, so let's say for example, if you find an option with the strike price of 472 call, right? And that's the one that's been trading well, you just trade that one all day consistently? Is that what you're saying? That'll be an interesting thought. I haven't done one like, oh no, I haven't done one like that. I like to give the algo as much freedom, but within, like, to work within a box, right? But to be able to say, okay, only trade 472 or only trade whatever strike price that's been working in the past. I haven't done an algo like that yet, but maybe I will try that for our next one. I don't know. That's an interesting thought there, to be able to say, okay, but the only thing is like to be careful for bias, right? And then be careful for overfitting, because, excuse me, just because it worked in the past doesn't mean the same 472 in this particular example here is going to work in the present. So there may be a likelihood that it may work, but then you also have to take into the account, all right, if it's 472 and the current price of, let's just call it SPY right now, because that's what this option I'm working on, SPY, right, is 500, but we're trading only 472. What happens when SPY goes to 550? What happens when SPY goes to 600? Right? So being able to only do 472, there may be some merit if you're doing 472 calls and puts. Maybe that's interesting, right? So if you're saying, all right, I'm only going to do the strike price of 472, but I'll flip it from calls to puts, right? So one day it will be a 472 call, the next day will be 472 put. That'll be interesting to see maybe if that'll work. That's a strategy I just thought about. Maybe. But I haven't done it. Have you, GD? And if so, how has it worked for you? But that's a cool idea. But I would just keep it like calls or puts, right? Just don't do 472 calls, because shit, what happens when it like goes to 600, 700, right? But then you also have to take into account like how far out of the money you're going to be. The further out of the money you're going to be, the more it's going to take in order for you to get to your ATM, right? So that's one thing to take. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting thought, but maybe you would say, okay, I'll start at 472, and then every month I'll pick a new strike price. Okay, there's a strategy for you. So every month you pick a strike price, right? Maybe it's like 10 or 15%, 10 or 15 points, right? Or whatever or whatever SPY is, for example, whatever the asset is. So let's say we're going to start with SPY, and SPY is at $500, right? So let's say I'll pick a strike price of 480, right? Just to choose something arbitrary, right? Pick a strike price of 480. And for the month of January, the strategy can only buy calls or puts on the strike of 480, depending on how the option works. Within the limitations of TOS, I have attempted and selected the strike manually and let the strat run it. Oh, that's what's up. What limitations are you seeing within TOS? And are you using yeah, what limitations are you seeing? That'll be interesting to see or talk about. And how do you select your option contracts? Do you use Delta? Do you use Gamma? Do you use any Greeks? Or just use IV? All right, okay. Let me go back here. My fault. I got caught up in that. But does that make sense? Maybe we'll create a strategy like that. But that's an interesting notion, though. I'm gonna keep you there. I'm gonna drop that. What else do I want to do? I think I could go to 3 minutes. Max hold time to 3 minutes. And then I think we have some wiggle room here with our ATR. All right. No, matter of fact, let me keep it. Okay, I want to keep it ATR period of 5, but I want to drop the threshold to 10. Yeah, let me drop the threshold to 10, and then min ATR threshold, let's drop to 0.10. Keep everything else the same. Oh, no Greeks. Oh. So how do you select it? Just IV? Why don't you use the Greeks? At least Delta. If any Greek, Delta. I mean, Delta Gamma. Maybe Delta Gamma Theta. If any, those three. Do you just use IV? All right, let's run our back. Oh, shit. I was supposed to run it on 23. I was supposed to run it on 23. All right, I'll just run it. This is the last time I'm running it on 24. And then next time we do an update, I'm going to run it on 23. Bet. All right. Beautiful. All right, and 1109. This is, I believe, V4, V3. This is V3. Find parms, and let's put away in the proper place. Price, believe it or not. Really? That's interesting. I really just haven't straight used price because to me, I mean, Thinkorswim provides the Greeks for you for free. Like they give you gamma. They give you gamma, they give you IV. I mean, excuse me, they give you gamma delta. Gamma delta and theta. You can just use those. You can really just use gamma and delta. What did that say? Montel strike at 2 to 3. Oh. That's interesting. So you just do a range between, okay. Hold on one second. No, that's what's up. I just trade small cap stocks. Why not have you ever just trade, that's interesting. Why not just trade ETFs? SPY or QQQ or IWM if you like small cap stocks. IWM would be, matter of fact, I have an IWM strategy. Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 is the top 2000. I'm not trying to be condescending. I don't know if you know. But if the price goes below $2, I switch to the other side. That is interesting. Everybody has a different algo. Everybody has their own edge. That's no problem. Now, what kind of do you have a stop loss and do you have TP levels? Or no. I think you said your TP is based off ATR, right? Or your stop loss is based off ATR. Excuse me. Average true range. I haven't even been paying attention to this. I think this is almost the same thing. So what I'm going to do is 16216. Okay. 216. Beautiful. 216. We are still noticing the same thing. Now review and advise what would be a better direction to adjust the parms as we're optimizing to get a better performance. Yeah, just ATR stops and targets. Yeah, I figured. Well, that's what's up. Yeah, have you considered trading IWM or Russell 2000? And again, this is not financial advice. I'm just trading ideas. Because you said small cap. The tighter premium filter killing the trade frequency. Only 38 trades versus. Bro, that's not. Wait, this is not the full year. We stopped it at February because the performance wasn't what we expected. Review again and advise. Makes sense. You stopped it early because it was clearly underperforming. Let me recalculate. Yes, bruh. It was just horrendi. All right, hold on, y'all. While it's doing this, let me go grab some water. All right, my fault. Appreciate that. Yeah, these days I only trade options and futures. I'm going to get to futures. I just haven't gotten there yet, but eventually we're going to get to futures. All right. Same trades, but way worse performance. Too tight. Force cheaper. Low quality options that don't move. TOS is very limited, so I admire you that you're doing. Oh, yeah, no. I need to figure out TOS because I'm hearing, I don't know. Like, I'm either between TOS or Alpaca. But Alpaca is like super easy and super user friendly, super beginner friendly too. So that's why, like, I'm always going to keep them as an option. But I am going to test out TOS to see, like, all right, how we can make this a little bit better. I'm not going to hold you. Like, I want to test it out too. So what limitations are you seeing? ATR is too loose. So 0.2 was it. What if I did this? I have an idea. What if I made ATR more strict? So instead of okay. Where is it? Instead of where is it? Okay. 0.12, make it 0.15. So let's make ATR threshold 0.15, and then let's shit. I don't want to do that. All right, let me go to premium max of 0.60. So the premium range 1.5, 0.60. It's a huge ass range. And then we need to get better deltas. So let's do delta min of 0.18, and then max of 0.48. Let's see if that lets in better. I'm also interested this. No, I'm not gonna mess with that because we know that's Gucci. So I'm making the other things a little bit loose, right? But making some things a little bit tighter. And then let's keep everything else the same. All right, now let's run it. Let us run it. I can get rid of this one because I already know what those parms are. Don't need that. All right. Let's see. Ah, shit. I was supposed to do the. It's okay. Let me keep the time the same right now. Let's keep the time the same and let's see if we get better performance. Let's keep the time the same and let's see if we get better performance. Oh, I just hit my head. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What do y'all see? We're seeing a little bit better. We're seeing okay, 323. Okay. Every time I blink. Okay, just it went into January at 300. I mean, got out of January at 300. Let's see what it does. Maybe we found the secret sauce, y'all. Maybe we found. I was supposed to run it on 23 too. Damn it, it's all right. That's okay. Oh, $400, bro. Every time I take my I look away for it just a second. Just a second. Okay. The first 60 days are a lot better based on what we've done. Now let's see if the strategy, yeah, it got out of January 303. And the only thing 444, if you know, you know, is getting out. Okay, the highest we see is 444. It's getting out 402. Let's call it. That's not bad. We're seeing better performance. So let's see how high we can push this. $530 in March. All right, we may have found something, ladies and gentlemen. We may have found something. Can we get above 800? I'm just finger crossed. Because we got out at 3. We got out February. Let's call it 402, maybe 398, right? And we're in March, we're 664. It's almost a $300 increase. 713. My goal is 800. You seen 713? 2 back-to-back losses. 3 back-to-back losses. Okay, 624. It's almost a $300 bump. So we left March 624. We're now 8. Can we get to 1,000 in April? Can we get to 1,000 in April? We just hit $1,000 in April. Okay. We just hit 1,000 in April. So it took us 4 months for the strategy to go from $100 to 1,000. Now, can it maintain and build on it and not give back 1,100? Come on, that's what I'm talking about. So it looks like we found a little Goldilocks spot. All right. So it looks like we found, okay, 1,200. I think we may found something, ladies and gentlemen. 1310. This is April now. Usually we're not seeing these numbers until later in the year. The fact we're crossing 1,400, we came in to April at $600, right? We're leaving April at 1,400, $700 in 1 month. That's not what's up. And we know May is great. Can we get out of May at 2,000 or 2,500? That's what's up. So items to note, and that's why I like using Greeks. I know GD, you said you use price in order to select the options, and maybe I'm going to try that one day. But I don't know, man. The Greeks are available. Like if the Greeks are available, and especially TOS provides it, I don't know. I guess I'll have to try it out and see how it works. That'll be just an interesting notion to do. But again, the Greeks are right there. Do you ever inspect the actual code that generates in your setup? Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. All the time. But what I'm changing are just parameters, right? So I'm not changing any the code, it stays the same, right? So I'm not changing anything in the code, right? So as far as being able to, maybe I need to make a video on that too. And I am making a video on the setup. So we're gonna keep that. Hold on, let me just 1900. So we got in at 12. Now we're at 1900. Okay, that's not bad. But as far as the backtest is concerned, the code for the backtest never changes, right? All I'm changing are just parameters, right? So it's like, all right, instead of 5, let me test 4. Instead of 4, let me test 8, right? So the code for the backtest, all this remains the same, right? There's nothing that changes here. All we're doing is just going back and forth with the AI in order to get the best parameters so we can get the highest returns for our particular algo, right? So all this is something that I had to come up with in order to backtest options, because it wasn't like I can use backtesting.py. It sucks when it comes to options. Maybe good for futures. I don't know. I know it's great for stocks, crypto, things like that, but option is it doesn't work too well, right? So we had to come up with our own backtest library, right? If for lack of better words, in order to backtest options. So this never changes. I mean, there's a couple of things that maybe we'll have to add, like ATR calculation, right? That's not something every strategy has. Option selection, every strategy is going to have that. Every strategy is going to have the position sizing. Every strategy is going to have the position management, right? So all this remains the same. So none of this changes. We're just updating the parameters, right? We're just updating things that are up here in order to see how we can get it to perform better. I just missed how it came out. Okay, it's fine. We're in July right now. We're at 2,200. This is the highest that I've seen the strategy be at, because normally it's struggling at 1,000. Right, so we are making strides. It's 2,400. All right, let's see if we can get out of. Let's see if we can get out of July at crossing 3,000. That's ambitious, I know, but it's only a couple $100. Come on, I believe in it. Let's see if we can get it to 3,000. I mean, with every adjustment, right, with every optimization that we're making, it is performing better. So it's not like we're regressing. Oh, 2,800. That's not bad. All right, we got out July 2,800. Let's see what August does for us. Can we turn that to 3,000? Okay, the first day we traded was the 7th, the 1st and the 7th. That's interesting. Oh, how was the 8th? Profitable. Good work. We're at 3,000 right now, so that's what's up. So let's see if we can touch 5,000. So that's the next benchmark. And then our next update we're going to do, I'm going to run the back test on 2023, just to make sure we're not overfitting for any particular year. Just to make sure we are getting a strategy. See, we just gave back way too much money. We're still giving back too much money. I need you to get out at 3,000. We got in at 2,800. That would be so super ironic if we get out at 2,800. 2,900. Okay. I mean, but we did peak to 31, 32. The aim right now is to see if we can get the strategy to go to 5,000. But I'm noticing we're still giving back too much money. Maybe it is a time stop thing. Maybe I need to give it 5 minutes. That'll be interesting. So I'm going to run it on 2025. So that's another thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to give the strategy 5 minutes in order to hit one of these levels. So we're going to go back to the 5 minutes, and I want to see how well that does. Because right now it's struggling to maintain the 3,000 level. We came into September at 2,800, and we're just above 3,000. I say just above 3,100. Okay, there we go. 32. Come on. All right, so we're getting out at 31.64. We're in October right now. Can we get to 5,000? That's the aim. If we can get to 5,000, then there's some things that we can do in order to make this double its money. But let's see if we can get to 5,000. I still think there's a couple things that we can do in order to improve. I'm not going to hold you. But for right now, I mean, there is some improvement, right? Every adjustment that we've done, there was improvement, right? We started at 1,500. We went to like 28, 29, right? Or no, so excuse me, low 2,000s. Right now, we're in the mid to upper 3,000s, right? With this strategy. So it is performing, right? And it's not like it's not doing well, right? So it is performing, and we are seeing a positive every iteration we're doing. We're seeing a positive increase, but there's that caveat that I think it just perform a little bit better, right? Whether it's being able to give it more time to hit the profit levels, or being able to make the signals that's coming in a little bit better, higher quality, right? It came in at 3,100 and it left October 35. Again, I want to see if it could cost for 5,000. We've been at this 3,000 level for a minute. And that's the thing. Once it finds and this is range about like a trending choppy market right here, we're seeing it, right? And as far as the price is concerned, 2024 is a bull market. So I don't want to get that confused. But as far as the price is concerned, okay, see, I thought it was going to cross 4,000. Do you ever actually set up? Yes. Oh, I think I answered that to your question, GD. Oh, 4,100. Let's go. 42. Goal is 5,000. The goal is 5, and once we get to 5, let's see if we can get to 65. What do y'all think? Do you think we're going to make the $5,000 goal? Are we going to make that $5,000 goal? All right. Yo, Max, what's going on? Yo, why is this backset so slow? Yes. We just crossed 5,000. There's a couple things that I'm going to do in order to make it so much faster. I'm not vectorizing the calculations for the indicators right now, so that's why. There's also another way to be able to make it a lot more faster. I'm going to do that this weekend. Why the back test is to make it a lot faster for y'all, so the user experience, so we can go through it in like under 2 minutes. I do have back tests that run under 2 minutes, but this one is just a little bit more comprehensive. I'm going to figure it out this weekend and make it a lot faster. I think it's because I'm not vectorizing. And what is a vector? Being able to put it in like a cube or a box, right? And then allow all the calculations to happen in there. Right now, the calculations are happening on the fly. So that's why it's running a bit too slow. Why not brute force the parameters faster and then help to print the final metrics for each set of parameters? And that's an idea. So that's something that we can do. Okay. Oh, shit, the win rate dropped. So that's crazy. We made more money, but the win rate dropped. That's interesting. Faster hold time. Profit factor did increase. Our best win was 300. Worst is 238. Average win is $23. So, I mean, it is getting better, but some places are getting worse, right? So that's why, I don't know. There's a couple of things that I can still do to be able to make this better. But yeah, I am going to make this faster. Right now, I don't want to like play around with it because I don't want to break the code. But there's a couple of ways that I can do in order to make this a bit faster. So I promise you by next week, we're going to be fine through this. You just got to be patient with me as we're going through this. That's why I'm trying to give color commentary to make it seem like it's not going as if that's slow. All right, review and let's discuss. Make sure to review the CSV and text files as well. Which library do you use to backtest, Max? Do you use backtesting.py? Do you use vector DT? Backtrader, I know it's another popular one. All right, version comparison, V1. I told you every version got better, right? So we are making strides. What do you do for living, or do you focus on YouTube for the moment? No. What do you do for a living? I'm sorry. No, I trade options. I do have bots that run. So I do trade options. Goodness gracious, can I say the word algorithmic? I can't even say the word. I do trade options algorithmically, right? I also do help clients with their different coding projects. So I do create like different AI agents because I know how to do that very, very well. So that's something I'll do for different clients. Like right now, I'm helping out a school create an AI agent that can help them have a learning management system and then a student management system all in one with an AI on top of that. So there's different projects that I'll do on the side, but mainly if I'm not coding there, I'm running bots. If I'm not running bots, I'm here on YouTube. So that's what I'll do. And I've only been doing YouTube for like I wish it was 4 months, 5 weeks. This is probably finishing up my 5th week. I'm going to 6. What makes this better? Stricter momentum only trades when the market is really moving. The wider delta ranges, the premium. All 12 months were profitable. Standout was December and November. Not even May no more. Weakest was February, but still green. Risk profile is for every, 1.4 to 1.7. For every $1 we risk, we're making 1.47. $72 on the average win, $49 on the average loss. I love it. Stop loss rate is 2.9, but the high time stops, right? So I need to give them a little more time. I don't search for people. They find me, and that's the crazy thing. Like I'll probably do one project. I'm really not trying to put my name out there. Really, really not. Because I really want to focus on being able to put time into this algo trading and really put time into being able to build really great bots, right? So I really don't put myself out there to find clients. They kind of find me. Like I'll do great work for somebody and I'm referred to somebody else and so on and so forth. So right now is word of mouth, but again, I am not looking to grow that business at all. I just want to focus on this because I think this could be very advantageous, especially if I could get this, like, if I could get a couple things tweaked before the turn of the year, and then have a couple of bots run at $100 for the turn of the year, and then just watch their performance for the entire year. That'll be an interesting challenge that I'm really looking to roll out by next year. So that's where I'm really going hard to be able to. I want to create one bot a day or one strategy a day, right? And sometimes I'll stream it, sometimes I won't. But I'm getting more into the habit of being able to stream it with y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. Okay, let me just finish this. The higher ATR threshold is your secret sauce. That's funny. Filtering out the choppy days and only letting trades with real momentum combined with a wider delta range, you're getting into options that actually move. All right, beautiful. I still have more ideas that we can adjust. I'm going to drop this down to 1 minute, so 9:31. You'll see how big of an impact that's going to be. And then increase this to 11:08. I still want to, no, I'm not going to touch that. What I am going to do, though, max hold time. I'm going to test 5 minutes. So that's what I want to do. So 3 things. Okay, I should just do that myself. Stop being lazy. 9:33, 11:08, and then what are we doing? 5 minutes. And everything else stays the same. Yep, everything else. I kind of want to drop that. No, I'm not going to drop it. Yep, everything else stays the same. I kind of want to. No, I'm not going to drop it. Yep, let's keep everything else the same so we can. Oh, hold on. 2024, 23. Where's 24? 23. Beautiful. Hold on. All right. 24, 24. All right. 23, I mean. So let's go ahead and run this. And the only thing that I updated was the entry time, max hold time, entry in when we start, when we end, and the max hold time. And then let's run it on 23 so we can get a baseline. All right, Python. Let's just make sure. Oh, whoa. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. Where is it? Wait. Oh, why am I tripping? Why is it not working? What did I do wrong? Review and let's fix the error. We are testing new theories quickly, real quick. Are you planning on allowing copy trading for your bots? I mean, monetizing aside from making money on bots? What do you mean by copy trade? Yeah. I mean, if y'all follow me step by step, you can like take this code, right? Because everybody's going to have different. Oh, the '08. That's funny. Everybody's going to have different ideas on how to actually run it, right? Like, because maybe your risk tolerance isn't mine, right? My risk tolerance could be a little bit more risky, right? Whereas you want to be able to get a higher win rate and you don't want to see your bot, okay, 2023, go down to like a drawdown of like damn 40, 60%. So I'm saying, yeah, if you follow this step by step, take the parameters, take everything, right? Because again, I'm always adjusting, I'm always updating, I'm always doing certain things to be able to tweak it. So y'all can take the code. I'm not going to hold you, right? It's just a matter of making sure that you actually understand what's going on here. So that's why I'm like, I'm really breaking this down and going by this step by step. So while this runs, give me like 2 minutes. I just need to run and grab something real quick and I'll be right back. It looks like this is going well though. We're running this back test on 2023. This is our first time our bot is seeing 2023, or the strategy, excuse me, and to see how well this works. This is not looking good. I haven't been watching, but this is not looking good. I mean, it's barely. I don't know. I'm just watching right now, trying to grasp what's been going. I mean, I don't know. Let's just wait and watch. It's like it's struggling to get past 500. As soon as it tests the level, support gets rejected. Interesting. All right, just got past it. Now, can we continue? Can we continue? I don't know. What have y'all seen while watching the back test? Is it? I think it's giving back too much money. Yeah, I'm still under that mindset. Because I don't know. I mean, every year, and 23 is going to be a little bit more choppy, right? So it's not going to be as trendy as 24 was. But still, there's still some pockets for us in order to make money. Oh, I think Max, I did answer your question, did I? Are you planning to allowing code or copy trading for your bots? I mean, monetizing it. Monetizing aside from making money on bots. That's interesting. Like, yeah. If y'all follow me step by step, you can recreate this for yourself. So that's why I have the steps taken, right? We have the journal to be able to keep track of what we're doing. Oh, it just crossed 1,000. I don't know if I can trust this though. It took 6 months to get to 1,000 and we just gave it back. I mean, if you think about it holistically, 6 months from 100 to 1,000, and all we had to do was start the bot every day and stop it, right? It's not like we're stopping the position. No, I didn't look for the position. It's finding it by itself, right? So I can appreciate that, but there's a little bit more room for improvement. If you haven't already, I really would appreciate if you all would just make sure you like the video if you haven't already. And if you are not already, please make sure to subscribe. My aim is to be able to bring you projects like this on a daily basis. The weekends, granted, like Saturday and Sundays, I am going to start streaming a little bit more. Just take for like, if I'm not here, I'm on Twitch. If I'm not on Twitch, I'm on YouTube. But again, I am going to make this a lot more consistent and really breaking down videos. And I do have a couple of really surprise series for y'all to really understand this algo trading game. Sorry, do have water here, but like every time I start talking, gotta clear my throat. Pause. But all right, it's at 1,000. Let's see if we can break 2,000. Not just break it, but eclipse it. I mean, it is getting there, but like barely. All right, while the back test run, let's go look and think of what else we can do in order to. So, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to drop this to 31. So we made it later. I gave it 10 more minutes, right? But I didn't give it the 1 more minute or 2 more minutes here. You know what I want? Oh crap, hold on. Before now, can you explain the and how this works, like on 12, so we can understand, and if we increase or decrease the number, how it will impact the strat. More, is it conservative or aggressive? Proceed. All right, 1100. Yep, still. All right, what else? We talked about the retracement. I think we found our Goldilocks zone. I want to keep it there. I mean, I haven't tested 3, so maybe it is worth being able to test a little bit more aggressive levels. So I'm going to test 3. So I haven't tested that. So I'm going to test 3 or even 2. Let me test 2 first, and then I'll test 3 to see how that works. Okay. And then I want to increase this. I want to make this looser, right? More aggressive, but I'm also going to increase this and make this more tighter, right? Allow more quality to come in. And then we're going to keep that the same. We're going to keep that the same. Yep, we're going to keep that the same. Okay. And what we're doing right now is just trying to find the best combination. Once we find the best combination, the one that works, the one that, the goal, I want you to get to 2,000. I know you can get there. It's like you have to talk nice to your strat, bro. Like you almost have to baby it in a way. Like, all right, come on. But it's getting there. I'm not gonna hold you. I mean, we're making strides. We're making great strides. Well, it's in October. I mean, it's still at 2,000, so I can appreciate that. I mean, it's maintaining that level. But it's like, can we get it to, okay, just gave, okay. Let's see. Let us see. All right, so I do have a couple more ideas. Yo. All right, so we're going to be running maybe 1 or 2 more back tests. And due to the speed of it, I am going to work on being able to get our back test to run a lot faster. Don't worry. This is one thing that is on my list for this weekend, to be able to work on that, because right now this is my youth. Could be a lot better, fam. A lot better. You hear me, bruv? But I'm going to get it right. Don't worry. I'm going to get it right. And it's going to be able to run a lot faster in this experience. We're going to be able to fly through our optimization list for this weekend, to be able to work on that, because right is my youth. Could be a lot better, fam. A lot better. You hear me, bruv? But we'll get it right. We'll get it right. I mean, but I'm noticing that I don't think the 5 minutes is working. I think the 5 minutes is still way too long. You know? I think I need to go back to the 3.5 or even 2 minutes. Maybe I need to trust 2 minutes. Oh, hold on. The minimum swing size. So explain like you're 12. Imagine you're watching waves at the waves at the beach thing. I'm really every single time I ask you for an example. Waves, beach. Imagine you're watching waves at the beach. The big wave is the valid signal. The small ripple are the noise. The minimum size 0.08 only count if the real wave is almost at least 8 cents tall. Interesting. How this works: when SPY price moves up or down, we're looking for swing highs and swing lows, turning points. The price is always wiggling, the tiny moves that don't mean anything. Real swings is 0.015, noise is 0.013. So SPY is at 475 and then it drops to it starts at 475 and then it goes to 475.15, and then the noise is 475 to 475.03. So right now we're at 8 cents. So instead of going to 475.15, it goes 475.08. The filter says that the 0.03 wiggle, ignore it. The 0.015 move, that's a real swing point. The impact in changing the value, lower catches smaller swings, more signals, more noise. Balance filters smaller swings, higher only big swings count, fewer but cleaner signals. Letting beeps at everything, coins, bottle caps, foils, lots of dinging, some treasure, some junk. Medium beeps at most coins, ignores, or the metal detector. Ignores tiny stuff. High setting only beeps at the real items, fewer signals, but almost always something good. Since you're trading 0 DTE, the tight time windows, the current 0.28 is probably good. Going lower, this will probably give you more trades but messier entries. Going higher means fewer but potentially cleaner setups. Interesting. All right, so let's look at 23, 241, 61%, 1200% though. Profit factor is less than 1. Max win and max loss is super tight. Average hold time is 3.5. So, okay. Review 23, and then let's discuss. All right, so that means it has to move at least 8 cents in order for it to be a momentum swing size. So moving this, maybe moving it to like, okay, what if we were to move this to like 0.15 but make everything else aggressive? Oh, this is what I want to try too. I want to try 3. Really 2 losing months. Okay. No, we still have a couple of ideas that we want to try. So we're going to try. I'm just going to update it myself. 3. I'm going to keep. No, I said 2, right? I said 2. Let's do 3. Let's do 3. I think that's a little bit more balanced. And then 2. And then we're going to keep everything else the same. Yep, keep everything else the same. Wait, okay. I kind of have an idea. Y'all just follow me. So I'm going to increase this to 18. And then I'm going to lower this to 5. And let's see what happens. And let's drop this to 15. Like super, super, super aggressive. Super, super aggressive parms, fam. Let's check it out and let's see how it performs. Oh, I keep forgetting. Damn, I'm supposed to drop that to 1 minute. Let's see how this performs. Remember, max hold time, we dropped it to 2 minutes. I've also let me just look what we did. Max hold time, we dropped it to 2 minutes. I've also dropped the minimum swing, right, to 0.05, but also made the ATR threshold higher, right? And then we dropped the max hold time to 2 minutes. It kept everything else the same. I don't know. Right now, it's looking a little duggy. I wasn't here for the first run, so I'm not able to tell if this is better or worse. But comparing how we got to May when I popped up, it's getting out of January almost $400, $388.94. So let's see how February treats us. Remember, what were the months that were negative? March and November. March is always a difficult month. November, interesting. So let's see. 422, tight shit. Let's go. $480. If we can get to $700, that's the goal. We went to $388.94. Right now we're at $501.38. I want to get to $750. I think we found it. I think we found our parameters. I think we maybe have found our parms, ladies and gentlemen. I think we maybe have found our parameters that is going to work for our strat when it goes live. So 500, so 388 to 500, 556. So let's see how March does. Is March is going to maintain the level? And I think only giving the strategy 2 minutes to figure out what it's going to do is really beneficial to us. Like, we're either going to make money in the 2 minutes or we're not. I think this is, we came in at what, 588 or 688? Let's just say 588. It's crazy though, fam. Come on. It's okay to make money. Like, we don't have to give back all the money, bro. I can see where you say March was difficult. I can see where you say March was difficult now. It's like it barely. Never mind. March was a month, bro. All right, come on. I'm looking for 850. We came in at 600 or 599.74. Let's see if we can make up for what we lost in March, and then being able to compound that, right? Come on. There we go. I said 850. We're at 845. Come on. Hey, come on. Keep getting now. 930. Can we get to 1,000? Stop. Come on. It's interesting. Yeah, I think this is going to be the final back test, and I'm not going to hold you. This video is coming up to 2 hours, so I'm going to save the bot development for the next video. And this video, I think we have done a great job as far as being able to improve the strategy, iteration over iteration, right? So I can appreciate that. My homework is to be able to make the back test a lot faster. For y'all's enjoyment, so we're not waiting. I think it's taking like 20 minutes to back test. Like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, I appreciate y'all's patience. Shit, I wasn't paying attention. 1,000. Okay, there we go. Oh, it did meet the goals because I was saying 800. I think it was like 900. If we can get out of May at 1,500, that'll be Gucci. I need May to be 1,500. May has never been not good to us, fam. And we found the secret weapon. The secret sauce was the 2 minutes, right? The 2 minutes was the secret parameter that we needed all along that I didn't notice until running it on 2023. Come on, man. I need 15, man. Come on. Well, 1270. We came in at 1,000. We're leaving at 12, right? The goal, if we can get out the summer months, I know the summer typically stops after September 4th, right? 5th, 4th, 3rd, whatever. But right now I'm counting it June and July. If we can get out the peak summer months at 2,500, Mint 2,500. If we can get above that, then we're moving somewhere. Like I don't want us to stay. Okay, 1,500. Come on, we're making great strides. And what we've done, I really think the 2 minutes was a big move, and the other parameter adjustments, right? Being able to make one thing tighter and another thing looser, right? So you can have your balance. Yes, we're letting more signals in, but those signals still have to have high quality, right? So it's not like we're letting trash in. You see me? So in 6 months, the strategy was able to go from $100 to $1,000. So let's think about that. I still think that's something that's competitive, right? Something that still has its edge, but in essence, like it's still not as. And this is 2023 and 24. We're seeing like 2,000, 3,000 at this time. I don't know. I think it was 2,000. But nonetheless, it's still making its strides to be able to meet the goal. And remember, the goal for the summer months, getting out of July, just north of 2,500. If we can be north of 2,500, then all right, we're probably heading for maybe a $5,000 year, and that'll be great. Come on. Oh, look at that, 2,000. Look at that. We hit the goal. 2,500. $2024. $2018. I mean, he's like barely making. Okay, come on now. Just hold the line. $2001. That's funny. 2021. 05. How was 05 for y'all? So we got out of the summer months. 2,000, just 500 under the goal, right? I want to see if we can get out of these next couple of months, and the goal for the end of the year, if we can make it above 3,500, then that is somewhere we can build upon. Again, this is going to be our last back test that we're going to run this evening while we're optimizing this strategy. There's some work that I'm going to be doing, and that's making the back test a lot faster, number one. And number two, I mean, I'm not going to touch any of the parameters, so I'm going to leave the test alone as far as the parameters are concerned. But I'm just going to make sure that the back tests are ran a lot more efficiently than what it is right now, because I'm not going to hold you 15, 20 minutes of back test. Even though, I mean, it's still working, still running, right? But just the UX, UI is waning a bit. You see me? So what do y'all think of this strategy so far? You know, what are your thoughts as we're running this back test? I mean, you all have seen it from start to finish. So let me know in the comments what you think from as far as the strategy is concerned. You know, do you think the 2 minutes is the secret weapon, right? That unlocked the strategy? Do you think was it being able to increase the ATR or decrease the amount of wiggle, right? Instead of 8 cents, we're looking at 5 cents right now. So there's a couple of updates that we've done. But for me, what I think one of the biggest helpers is going to be that the max hold time, right? It's 120 seconds. You have 120 seconds to figure out what you're going to do in the position, right? Are we going to make money or are we not, right? And if we're not, let's go ahead and close the position. And what I'm seeing, and it's just kind of speaking counter to it, but I'm seeing a good number, a good number of the time starts to be positive, right? Yes, there will be some that are negative. That's fine, right? That's the name of the game. But I'm seeing some. How many trades per day does it? One trade. All of our strategies, one trade per day. I'm not trying to do more. I mean, yes, we can do to 2 trades per day, but I want to make sure the metrics are a lot better than what it is right now. Right now, it's kind of like borderline successful. I mean, it is 60%, so a little bit more than a coin toss. It did make, it was able to go from $100 to $1,000 in under 6 months, and then from 1,000 to 2,000 in under 60 days. So there are great metrics here, but I still think there's a little bit more room for improvement. And once I do see that room for improvement, maybe I'll add another trade per day. But right now, it is a maximum of 1 trade per day. And it has almost just under 2 hours to find that trade. But great question. Keep them coming. When you create your bots, how many trades per day do you allot? Do you do more than one? GD? At the strategy is like rejecting $2,500 so many times. Holy shit, it just crossed 2,500. Look at that. Come on. Just rejected it again. No, with about just under 60 days left in the year, I am seeing 30 to 50. That's a lot. That's a lot. And TOS, you don't get what is that? Oh shit. The damn, what is that thing called? My fault. I'm not gonna say my brain is fried, but yeah, that's a lot. That same day trade warning. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you the name of it right now. Oh crap. Day trade warning. Do you get any day trade warning? And do you open and close the positions the same day? That's 30 to 50 is a lot. And all ran through Python? If you don't get any day trade warnings and you can run that much, I think TOS does have maybe a slight edge because I haven't tested it, maxed it out for Alpaca yet. I think the most I've done was like 22. I mean, I'm just under it, but I think the most I've done a day was like 22 trades. There was no issue. But 30 to 50, yeah, I haven't eclipsed that just of yet. Maximum I'll allow these bots to do is 1. Nope, no warnings. Really? That's what's up. And are these normally just like individual stocks themselves? Are these ETFs? If you don't mind me asking. Are these options or futures? 3,000. There we go. That was the goal. The goal was 3,000. Really 3,500, but it was able to cross 3,000. Can we get to 35? Oh, just QQQ options. Oh, that's what's up. Like, I didn't know that. No, I appreciate that information. Because now, I trade QQQ, SPY, IWM, sometimes XPS, XSP, mini SPY. But the fact that you could do that many QQQ options, 30 to 50 a day, and not get any day trader warnings, yo, that's what's up. No, I'm definitely going to try that. Oh, you said just QQQ. And you do bi-directional, right? Calls, inputs. It's just not calls. You do bi-directional. $3,400. You just gave back so much money. Oh man, you was looking promising. You just gave back so much money. All right, let's take a 59%. With 59%, you was able to make 3,300 for me just dropping the max hold time. Again, this is still super tight, bro. Like, I really don't like the maximum. The best trade was 216, but the worst trade was $200. The profit factor did increase. The average trade did increase. The P&L, of course, did increase, but we still have some room for improvement here. I am not going to run another back test with y'all because I want to make this a bit faster. So I'm going to take that. What I'm going to do is review and then see what we have updated. Then let's discuss. No, that's what's up though. Like I said, I really do appreciate that because I'm always curious of like what everybody's warning is. For Alpaca, again, the highest I've ran was 22 and I get no warnings, right? No day trader warnings at all. So the fact that you can run 30 to 50, that's still something. And you're able to that's okay. But again, that's still what's up. And it's Python or C++? What changed? Yep. 3-bar. Stricter. 2-minute faster exit. Yep, look at that. I mean, that changed. That's kind of crazy. The win rate went down, but we made more money. So, well, oxymoronic there. No, I don't know if that's an oxymoron. It's not like a jumbo shrimp. Best. Okay, that's what's up. 85% in June. That's what's up, man. Damn, low win rate but still positive was okay. The magic formula, the 15% retractant plus the 3-bar freshness equals ultra early signals plus the 0.88 only trade when it's really moving. 2-minute max hold time. Get out before theta eats you. The result, only 1 stop loss. Really? That's what all entries are identically clean. The trade-off, time stop is high, but you're getting 0.44 stop loss and the average trade of 44. All right, so there's still a couple things that I'm going to update here. So what I want to do is say, update and with the steps taken to get to this point, then update with recent results so we can keep track of it. All right, so this is where we're going to call this a good place to stop, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we did improve on our parameters, right? 2023, we almost doubled, right? Went from like 1,200, 1,100. What was that? 1,200 to 33. So you could say double, right? But I'm still seeing a couple things that we can get better. I'm still seeing a couple things that can be improved upon, right? And I think before all 12 months are green, which is beautiful. But again, I think these little low 50s, 45, 39, 45, right, 58, those numbers can be improved upon. So I think for our next video, what we're going to be doing is a little bit more optimization. This is after, of course, I have gotten the back test to run a lot more smooth. And then once we've gotten it to a point where we all agree, and I think this is green and it works out for us, then we're going to create our bot. We're going to be creating our bot using Alpaca. I love Alpaca for now. So right now I'm just going to be doubling down on them until I'm ready to use TOS or Thinkorswim. Listen, GD, Max, everybody else, I really do appreciate you for stopping by today. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe.